Hello, hi, it's me, Astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to our live stream for an astrological overview for the month of November. Well, welcome everybody. Wow, a lot of you here already. Now, Andy is driving, so be careful, Andy, drive carefully. AMAC, you had a birthday. Happy birthday, many happy returns. Simi is here, so is Christine Jones and Poonam. Good morning, Poonam. And Sue and B. And I saw someone else, but I can't remember who. Let's have a look. No, I think that's it. No, we have a good full house. So, how was last week? How has everyone been? It's it's interesting because we had, or we still have, and really it's going to be around through most of November, this influence of water. We've been having this grand water trine, and in fact, it's going to be really continuing in one form or another over the next few weeks. And I have to say, I really do think it did affect me in that it made me lazy. It's been very difficult to self-motivate and get myself to do anything. I mean, I have done, but I've had to be really disciplined and really, kind of push myself to get things done. Hi, Karma Girl. Good to see you. Welcome. You had a lot of things come to light, see me, and you feel silly. Oh, dear. Oh, that's not good. Well, I hope it's not good, but perhaps it is good, but because perhaps these things had to come out. We have got the sun in Scorpio, and remember, Scorpio is about those secrets get revealed. And we've actually got that energy during the month of November. Hello, Estrella. You've had some very vivid dreams. Christine, very deep, intense, and otherworldly. Whoa, okay. Well, let's see. We had Halloween on Friday. And it's Janice. Yes, it's dark here now in Gozo. It's dark in Ireland. Yes, Simi, it makes us stronger, doesn't it? Knowing what you know now. And Poonam, you've had a similar week to me, but had to deal with some emotional aspects. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to run through the major events of November, but not in great detail because I will look at those when I do the weekly Astro Witter and, of course, the Sunday night live streams that we do. So we will get a good look at that. Hello, Cosmic 3IA. The seas are calm here for now. That's good. That's good to know. Hello from Flanders. Welcome. Good to see you here. So basically, we have this water energy really pervading a lot of November because of the Scorpio energy. We've also got some Pisces energy, of course. We've also got fire because we have a bit of Sagittarius waking up with planets slipping into Sagittarius. And of course, we've got some retrograde energy. And the most notable maybe is, of course, Mercury, our planet of communication, goes retrograde on the 9th of November. But what happens before then? Because we've got a few more days before we get to that. But remember, we are in the Mercury retrograde shadow. So do not be surprised if things happen or things get delayed or cancelled. Christine, is there any Earth? Only the full moon on Wednesday, which is in Taurus. So at the moment, really, it's only going to be when the moon moves through an Earth sign that we're going to have that connection with Earth. So it's kind of interesting. We've actually just got a lot of water, fire, and a little bit of air, but not the air isn't around for long because that's Uranus in, well, I suppose we've got Pluto in Aquarius, of course. So we've got Pluto in air. But Uranus is going to leave is going to leave Gemini and move back into Taurus on the 8th of November. So as you can see, we have a lot going on, but let's just go through what's going to be happening, sort of the key headline points. That's interesting, Cosmic 3IA. You're saying, are more things going to be dissolved or revealed? Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen in America and Canada that the British royal family has really got its back up against the wall as Andrew, formerly known as Prince, has had his titles stripped away. I'm not going to get into it because, you know, it's what it is. And basically, he's been caught with his pants down in really very serious and not good circumstances. And yes, that has to be acknowledged and it has to be punished. And it may well go further, and we may see at some point down the line the police being involved and courts, lawyers, who knows. So let's see. Yes, water puts fire out. Then what happens? Well, that's the problem. We've got this water trine. We've got this lovely water trine. So all the power of Sagittarius gets a bit lost. But Mars on the 4th moves into Sagittarius from Scorpio, and more or less straight away will be opposite Uranus in Gemini. So this is big. This is important because this is the energy that we've seen playing out with both Mars and Mercury being conjunct, opposing Uranus out of sign. Now they're both opposing Uranus in sign. So they're both Mercury and Mars are in Sagittarius. When Mercury was opposing Uranus in the week, that was when the news came out that Andrew was going to have his prince title removed, which is a really big deal. We probably haven't seen anything like this in the royal family since the abdication of his, what would be his grandfather or great grand uncle. And also then you probably go back to when we had, you know, dramatic things happening with royalty in the United Kingdom, was the beheading of Charles I. And before that, really, we're looking at Henry VIII and his terrible knack of cutting his wives' heads off. So, oh, Parry's here. Good to see you, Parry. Lovely to see you. No pun intended. Yes, see me. We expected his titles to be stripped. Hello, Margaret. Good to see you here. Who else is here? Susanna. Hello, Susanna. Hey. Good to see you here. So I think by the time we get to Tuesday, where am I looking? I'm looking at Tuesday, actually. Tuesday, when Mars moves into Sagittarius, which is just before the full moon in Taurus on Wednesday, then really I think we're going to hit the ground running this week. And I just want to say something general about what may or how we may feel throughout November, which is that in one sense, we're wanting to put the structure into the dreams and the plans that we have. And we're finding that we are either through our own inability to find the motivation to get things done because of that water trine, so that can delay us, but also because of the retrogrades. And that too is going to delay us somewhat, so that it may feel as if we're a bit stuck this month. But don't worry, it will shift, it will change. And I think with all these retrogrades, and this is really talking in general about the Mercury retrograde, remember Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th, that when Mercury's retrograde, it actually can be used in a very positive way to re-look at, say, important documents or contracts if you're involved in anything contractual. It may bring timely obstacles which actually empower you to see something you might otherwise have overlooked. So I think it's important with all the retrograde energy that we don't get carried away with it and kind of just lost in the beauty of the water. You know, I mean, water is beautiful and it flows and it holds us. Yes, Jim. Hello, Jim. Intentional grounding can still work well. Absolutely. Absolutely. So has it cooled off in Gozo? No, it's hot. Well, it's not hot. It's still humid. You see, it's still about 23 degrees centigrade. So that's about in the 70s Fahrenheit, and with a high humidity of about 80%. So it's just hot and sticky. So it's not particularly pleasant. So yes, take Jim's advice. Intentional grounding is really important. And let's see what else, because let's just have a think about this full moon in Taurus on the 5th, because now the video I've done is up. All your zodiac signs are time-stamped in that. And this particular full moon is at 13 degrees and 22 minutes. And it's before Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury will actually be on the mid-heaven of this chart, of the event chart. So there is something, I think, about news coming out, more secrets that come into the public arena with this full moon. Or it could be the final nail in a coffin in metaphorical terms. But certainly because we're dealing with the energy of Scorpio, which is about, you know, the shadow, the dark, the deep, the hidden energy, then it wouldn't surprise me if more secrets don't come out. The power needs to go back to the people. AMAC, yes. People need to take back their power, and the power needs to come back to the people. Centigrade, yes. Yes, Margaret, that's right. Parry, do things that you love to do with exuberance and enthusiasm for the opportunity to experience joy and creativity with peacefulness and celebration. Love it. And that's very Sagittarian, which of course is where the sun will move into later this month. But hello, Red Pillar. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Good to see you. And let me just look at what else is going on. So the full moon, I'm not going to go into in any particular depth. I think the most notable aspect that is happening around the full moon, because the moon itself is not really making any particular aspects to anything, but Saturn in Pisces, retrograde at the moment, but is going direct later in the month, is making a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, also about to go retrograde. So Saturn is soon going to go direct and Jupiter is going to go retrograde. Now they're making a trine. Now you've got two very opposing energies. So we have to think about the energy of a full moon, which is about endings, conclusion, resolution. And what we have to think about is Saturn is treading water in Pisces, trying to hold back Jupiter's exuberance and excitement, and it's all getting a little bit washed away in emotion. So we may find this full moon is a little bit emotional because, thank you, Red Pillar. That is so kind. Red Pillar has made a donation to the channel. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. It's Nikki Hensel from Montreal, Quebec, having a month-long bus strike. Oh my God, a draconian bus strike. Oh my God, that's terrible. Nikki Hensel, I'm so sorry to hear that. Christine, what are you saying? You're afraid there has been no sign. We've done everything possible without a positive outcome. One of your dearest cats, Collar, who'd been with us for 15 years, vanished a week ago. Oh, I know, this is so... Hello, Tiffany. Yeah, Red Pillar, bus strike, Mercury retrograde. Tiffany, you're just getting ready to get on the road, heading back to Memphis from your parents' house, 7-hour drive. Oh, we're sending you good traveling vibes. Absolutely. Drive safely. You're being reborn, Cosmic 3-Eye Atlas is saying. I think we're all going to go through a bit of a metamorphosis with this full moon. And I think what we're going to notice with the retrogrades and the fact that both Neptune and Saturn are back in Pisces is that, and Uranus about to go back into Taurus, it's going to feel a little bit like it did, say, about 4 or 5 months ago. And, we'll be full of sort of excitement and hope for what can come, but it's like, it's just not yet. It's just not quite ready to come into reality. So I think it's a month about getting on with what we have to do, keep doing what we need to do to make sure that we can have what we want in our life, but also be prepared for delays and just know that that is fine. You go, oh, there's a delay? Okay, that's okay. Margaret, your 15-year-old kitty is unwell. You have him in the laundry closet, heater on full blast, channeling light into him. Oh, trying to make him eat. Oh, I'm sending Reiki to your poor kitty, Margaret. Sending lots of Reiki to Kitty. Yes, AMAC, we hope Christine's pussies are safe wherever they are. And let's hope you get some news about them. Your situation, Christine, is just beyond belief. I just don't know how you handle it. And I have to show my admiration to you because that takes a lot of courage. And wow. But let's move on to the energy. I wonder, Christine, whether these retrogrades are going to, actually smoke out the perpetrator of these cat crimes. That may be something that comes round about the end of November when Mercury goes direct and when Uranus has moved back into Taurus. So let's see what else is happening, because on the 6th of November, Venus will move into Scorpio. And so we will have yet another energy in Scorpio, in water, moving out of Libra, of course, which is air. And Venus in Scorpio could have us reviewing friendships and relationships and looking at the shadow side of relationships and friendships, and maybe wondering if one, because of the retrograde phase, whether one should try to reconnect with maybe people that have been out of your sort of circle for a while, maybe thinking about things like that, and then maybe remembering why they're not in your circle and maybe thinking better of it. So on the 8th of November, Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, our planet of shocks, will leave Gemini and go back into Taurus. Now it's going to, interestingly, it's going to be sitting conjunct the fixed star Algol, which is about beheadings. And I did say in my little Halloween short that, of course, 500 years ago in England, Andrew, formerly known as Prince, would have been beheaded because his crimes would have carried the death penalty in those days, and he would have been severely punished, and he would have had his head chopped off, quite simply. So, oh my God, Cosmic BA, I'm seeing what you're saying about doctors are leaving your province after the government imposed a law. Yes, Lady Anne, absolutely. Don't feed the fears. Let's see what else. Poonam, healing vibes for Kitty, Margaret. Yes, absolutely. So Uranus will move back into Taurus, and it's going to stay there until April 2026, when it will move back into Gemini, and then it will be there for the next 6.5, 7 years. But Uranus moving back into Taurus could see again, with this energy of its conjunction with the fixed star Algol, more leadership, heads rolling. You know, what other way can one put it? Now, in personal terms, how does that affect us? Well, maybe it's, as I was saying, about the sense of Venus in Scorpio and re-looking at friends who may have no longer be in your circle, that maybe it's actually about acknowledging that it's done. It's done. And sometimes that's what we have to do, and we have to let go of the past and move on. Now, Mercury will be retrograde until, Mercury will be retrograde until the 29th of November. And Mercury goes retrograde at 6 degrees and 51 minutes of Sagittarius, and it will go all the way back to 20 degrees and 42 minutes of Scorpio. And it won't be out of its shadow until about, it's something like 8 to 10 days later. So it'll be in December that it'll be quite out of its shadow. So, as I say, the usual proviso with Mercury retrograde, it's going to be retrograde in Sagittarius. So for part of that time, you're going to have problems with travel, delays, just anything like that. Air travel, I think, because of Uranus's move back into Taurus as well. I just feel there could be disruptions from natural events like bad weather events. You know, we had this dreadful hurricane storm Melissa in the Caribbean. You know, my heart goes out to the people that have been hit by that terrible hurricane. And also what I'm sensing is that there's the possibility of volcanic disruption to aviation, that we see flights grounded because of dust from volcanic ash, if there is one of our many volcanoes decides to let off a bit of steam. So, is it your birthday, Parry? Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Parry. Wishing you many, many more happy years. And let's see what else. Cosmic 3-Eye Atlas, you didn't have a single trick-or-treater, and you don't know why people on your street didn't decorate and leave their lights off. How strange. Oh, mean old things. Wishing all Scorpios a happy birthday season. Simi is saying, your daughter is her birthday's on the 14th. Well, happy birthday to your daughter, Simi. So the usual proviso with Mercury retrograde. And of course, because it's going retrograde, it's going to make a conjunction a little bit later with Mars again. And it's going back and forwards, and we're going to get, but that's not till December. But let's just, because on the 11th, Jupiter goes retrograde, and Jupiter has been direct for ages. And it goes direct on the 11th of November at 25 degrees of Cancer. So what we're going to notice is a certain contraction in things that would say come under the heading of Cancer. Now, in my case, I'm thinking about the fact that I've actually got, or having, Jupiter conjunct my natal Jupiter. So I've got a Jupiter return in Cancer, and it's conjunct my natal Uranus. Well, the effect it's been having on me is that there is nothing I can't seem to put in my mouth. I just want to eat. And I'm seriously hoping and sincerely hoping that Jupiter's retrograde passage will stop me putting food in my mouth or anything I can lay my hands on, because it's just got completely out of control, which is interesting with that Jupiter return. It'll be lovely when it moves forward and goes into Leo next year, because then it'll be on my ascendant, but more of that next year. AMAC, you're saying Cosmic 3i, difficult time for people. They may not feel like celebrating, or maybe saving it for the festive season. Good point. Good point. And Margaret, you had a birthday, so happy belated birthday to you, Margaret, as well. You're saying you bet it's delicious food. No, it's rubbish. It's kind of chocolate and things like that, and just bits I can pick out of the fridge. I'm not being good to myself. You're having the opposite effect, Simi. Should we do a bit of a swap? Can you have some of my appetite and I'll have some of your no appetite? That would be a good way to go. Jim is saying the light route is a wavelength you're blessed to share with you, if you may. Well, I think you're I don't know who you're sharing that with, Jim, but yes, share the light, share the love, share the light. You too, the opposite. Okay. Yes, Simi, but I'm doing my best to get it back under control. So Jupiter is going retrograde, and then again on the 12th, we've got Mercury conjunct Mars in Sagittarius. Now we had this, what was it, a week ago or 10 days ago? We will get, well, in Sagittarius, we are going to get news about legal lawsuits, things like that, because Sagittarius can be about law, justice. You know, I know Libra can as well, but Sagittarius is about that kind of higher frequency of law. And so we could see lawsuits coming to the fore. And again, shocking news, I think. Shocking news comes out. So we've got shocking news for about the first half of the month at various times as we move through. Oh, he's sharing the light with you and all of us, Christine. Okay. Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you, Jim. We'll all take some light. That's fantastic. So then on the 18th, the sun will be conjunct Lilith in Scorpio. And Lilith, as we know, is this dark shadow. And how will that play out? Well, I think, sun conjunct Lilith in Scorpio. Well, I think it plays in again to our, to light being shed on hidden, shadowy, dastardly things, is what I could say. So, oh, Christine, I love that. You're going to grate the carrots. We'll grate the carrots. Tiffany, you've got Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Sagittarius, and also Neptune in Sagittarius, as will many people the same age as you have, Tiffany. So don't worry too much about that, because these are at the, where was it? The Mars, I've lost it now. oh gosh, there we are. It's at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, but it'll just, it's when it hits personal planets that these things are more powerful, or your sun or your moon or your ascendant or your descendant or your midheaven or your IC. So self-grating keratin process. Yeah, it's all got a bit quiet there, hasn't it? I daren't bring it up. Actually, I love carrot cake. Yes, AMAC, absolutely lovely. The sun will conjunct Tiffany, your Lilith close to your ascendant. Um, I think you might find some stuff out about your inner self. I think a little bit of self-reflection and some shadow stuff coming up, a bit of shadow work, inner child work could come up from that for you. We should have a group grating. I love that, Christine. Absolutely. So then after that, now Mercury will retrograde back into Scorpio on the 19th of November. And then by the 20th, we have the new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees. And let me just move on to the new moon, because again, quite a meaty new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees. It's conjunct Mercury. So, and of course, Mercury is retrograde. So what comes back to haunt us, whether that is collectively on the world stage or personally, something comes back and we get news which enables us or empowers us to have a new fresh start, because it's Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, which is about being empowered. So that is going to be quite an interesting new moon that we have there. And Venus already will be at 16 degrees of Scorpio. And of course, let me see, the new moon, in fact, is going to be opposite Taurus. Uranus in Taurus. I was thinking Taurus in Uranus. That doesn't work. Uranus in Taurus. So the new moon is, so there's going to be, it's like something quite shocking brings about a very positive new beginning. So there's something good comes out of something that seems maybe quite surprising and shocking. So that's quite good. Okay, Lady Anne, we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. What was Christine said? A group grating. Yes. Parry, you're looking forward to eating carrot cake with coconut icing for your birthday. How lovely. That sounds yummy. So after the new moon in Scorpio, then by the 25th of November, Mercury will be conjunct Venus in Scorpio. And just going back to my notes, but first of all, and on the 22nd, the sun will move into Sagittarius. So then we will be in Sagittarius energy. And on the, as I say, 25th, Mercury will be conjunct Venus. I think then, because that's in Scorpio, there will be another opportunity to talk deeply to somebody who maybe you've had differences with. There is something here that with that new moon energy so close behind it, that there is a chance to clear the air or have new beginnings, if any of you have situations like that. And then on November the 28th, Saturn in Pisces will go direct. And of course, the next stop for Saturn will be Aries. So this is where, towards the end of the month, we start to see, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. We will really get a sense of things starting to shift. So whereas most of the month might seem a bit stop, stop, start, we might feel as if we're go a little bit and then we stop and then we have to go back a bit and retrace our steps and then forward a bit. I think this month, if you don't expect too much, you might be pleasantly surprised. And, I think it is a month to just, it's a busy month astrologically. And I think we're going to have to try and work out how we keep up with ourselves in some way. So the next thing that happens is that Mercury finally goes direct on the 29th of November, and that's at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So, hi, Amanda. Hi, Penny. Might some good change come from the awful train incident? People in the UK are not safe and are fed up. Yes, I get that. I really thought about that today. I thought, gosh, if you can't even sit early evening on a Saturday on a busy train and you have to fear for your life. Just for those of you in America and Canada, there was two British men, British citizens, went on a stabbing spree on a train in the early hours of yesterday evening, that was coming towards, I think it was coming towards London from northern England. And I think it was something like 12 people in all were stabbed. 9 are still critically ill in hospital. It was just horrendous. And it really makes you think, because, here's me with all my plans about going back to the UK. And I have to say, I think, whoa, am I going to a very safe country or not? But I still think actually England is safe. And I think, this stuff happens everywhere. And, we can't allow ourselves to live in fear. We cannot play into people that try to limit our freedoms by fear, because remember, any form of attack, if we attach the word terror to it, this wasn't a per se terrorist attack, but it causes fear. And that's the whole thing. What they manage to do is have power over you by instilling fear in you. So AMAC, oh yes, I'm missing, you're going so quick. Hang on, it's not terrorism. If people are terrified, then it is surely. Well, it's not officially a terrorist act. No terrorist organization has taken or claimed responsibility for it. In fact, I believe one of the people that was one of the attackers was of Caribbean origin. That's all I know from the news when I heard it earlier today. But they were both born in Great Britain. Yes, I think you're right, Lenny. I don't think any one place is really safer than any other. If it's your turn to be in one of these situations, you will be. And, it reminds me, and I'm sure some of you know this story because I've told it before, the story about there was a man and a servant, and the servant met, let me see if I can get it right. And he said, I think he ran into the Grim Reaper, and they were both scared of each other. And that happens, and then the servant runs back to his master and says, give me my horse. Can I borrow your horse? Can I borrow a horse? I've got to get away from here because I ran into Death, and Death said he has an appointment to meet me and was startled to see me here. And so the master gives him the horse and says, yes, of course, off you go. And then the master meets death as well. And he says, "What did you say to my servant to upset him so much?" And he said, "All I said was that I had an appointment with him." And he got very frightened. And the thing that I'm getting this story totally wrong. The thing is, where the servant has run to is where death actually had an appointment with him. And that is the bit that makes you go all shivery, because the moral of the story, and I'm telling it dreadfully, is that we cannot escape our fate or our destiny in that sense. And yes, karma. Death in Somalia, that was Somala, that's it, that's what it's called. Yes, I think it's Persian. I think you're right. Yeah. Um, uh, Christine's on about spider's web. AMAC, you're from the Outer Hebrides. Fabulous, fabulous. And Christine is saying spider webs brought humans the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of the web. It was for Earth's children to learn to make records of their progress on Earth. How beautiful. So the webs are perpetually woven and there for us to read, Jim. I think that's beautiful. I think that's lovely. So by the end of the month, when Mercury goes direct, on the 30th, Venus too will move into Sagittarius. So we will lose some of this water energy, but it's still going to be pretty watery this month. And let me see if I've missed anything out. And yeah, this grand water trine is just going to be around. Now, trines, I think, ultimately always mean everything will be all right. So it's a little bit like that Indian saying, which is, if everything's not all right, then it's not the end. So, and then I'm going to get that one wrong as well. You know the one I mean. If everything, oh God, oh, I give up. I think I'll go to bed. It's everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, then it's not the end. I think that's the way it goes. And I think it's the same kind of principle. There's something about this month and the trine, which is, even if things go a little bit awry during November with the retrogrades and the conjunctions of Mars and Mercury, it will be all right in the end, because the trine says it'll be all right in the end. Yes, it's a lovely saying. Oh, Charlotte, hello. You know what I mean, don't you? What are my thoughts on Andrew and Fergie? Are they meeting their karma, do you think? I don't know, is my answer. You know, what is karma? We could have a very long discussion about what karma is. And I think that, you know, you reap what you sow. So in that sense, yes. I mean, Fergie or Sarah Ferguson, I have no idea what her past is, only what we've heard in the news over the years. And as for Andrew, he's clearly been a little bit of a spoilt brat by the sounds of things. So you do reap what you sow. And I can imagine there was envy, because like with Prince Harry, he was the spare, not the heir. So, you know, it's interesting, you know, Charles was the heir and Andrew was the spare. And now we've got William is the heir and Harry is the spare. And we've had the same issues, the same problems. So let's see. Parry, focusing on what is really important for us to improve our quality of life with sanity and our own input of kindness and nurturing through love and harmony together peacefully. That accuser of his was paid off, I think, wasn't she? Yes. And Christine's saying, spider is the symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. That's fascinating. I love it. And yes, see me, Amanda, what comes around goes around and eventually comes around to bite you in your proverbial bum. Yeah, Patrick, good to see you here. It is the start of the fall of kingdoms. I think, this is this is part of this Pluto's leave of Capricorn and move into Aquarius, the tearing down of the old order. You remember what we've said about the astrology, that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius and the last time Uranus went into, or Uranus was doing what it's doing now, we had the French Revolution. And that basically got rid of the monarchy in France. And will that happen in the United Kingdom? Who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I think Prince William is recognizing that he's going to have to make drastic changes and really come up with some very to the point and on point modern ideas about how they go forward once he is actually king, because to hold and cling on to the old ways, it's just not going to suit the way forward, is it? Yeah. So yes, Princess Anne and Princess Royal is lovely. Yeah, she would have made a lovely queen. Absolutely. So listen, any questions about November before I go on to the tarot? Because I'm afraid I forgot to find a word for the week or a phrase for the week. I've been sitting here all day thinking, it's the water trine. I've been sitting here all day thinking, I'm sure there's something I'm supposed to have done. I'm sure there's something I'm supposed to have done. Do you think I could remember what it was? No, I remembered as soon as we sat down here. Oh yeah, I was going to find some quotes for the month ahead. Never mind. I'll do some on Wednesday when I do the midweek Astro Witter. So I love what Christine has been saying about spiders. That's, how about clarity, Penny? See me. Yeah. Well, let's have clarity for the month of November. Let's say we just intend clarity. Christine's saying humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world may never see beyond the horizon into other dimensions. Very good point. I like that. Yes, that's very true. Right. I am choosing 3 tarot cards to see what we're going to get for the month of November. Gosh. Ooh, there's another one. It's come out. It's come out. What are we going to have? Let's put those down there. The first one, whoa, the King of Swords, the law. So there is something here about, firm boundaries. I think because of this ongoing ground water trine, we need to make sure we have firm boundaries. And as Jim was saying, find our personal ways to ground and earth ourselves. Because yes, Patrick, wisdom in November is on the way. Oh, yes, Parry. Spiders' webs in the mornings with the dew, like jewels. Yes. Christine, humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world may never see beyond the horizon into other dimensions. Very good point. So I think there is going to be a sense of law and order being enforced. Now, I noticed yesterday there were protests in Serbia, and which is interesting. That's not really made much in the news. So there is a lot of disruption going on still in various parts of the world. Yes, that's a good way of putting it, Poonam. Set the stage for the future we want to be in. And maybe this card will tell us what that is. Well, the Knight of Wands is saying things will move. And I think the thing is with November, it's about recognizing that even though on the surface things may seem stuck, things are happening behind the scenes. Just have faith that the dark, what is going on in the dark, is unfolding, that progress is happening. So don't lose sight of that, because I think that is happening, and that progress and process will continue. And so, yes, that's movement. And actually, I think quite productive. I think this is productive for work this month, and for industry can be quite good this month. And finally, very Lilith. Oh, I think I have to do that on YouTube. Do you know you're not allowed to show figures of naked people? And of course, the tarot have pictures of naked people. Oh, dearie me. So, yes, Amanda, we have to hold on to faith. So, with Adam and Eve here with their bits covered up by my fingers, maybe what it's saying to us is we mustn't lose sight of love, because in spite of everything that is going on, oh, 3 shifting veils. That's why you place Star Wars stickers on your cards. Well done. I love it. Yes, I know, Amanda, the irony of all the porn available. Exactly. Yes, Christine, we get caught in the polarity of good and bad fortune without realizing that we can change it at any time. We have to be decisive about changes in life. We can't be consumed by fears and limitations. AMAC, you've got the 5 of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Sun. So 5 of Swords, it could be a little bit discombobulating as we start off the month. And then the 2 of Pentacles, busy time, trying to balance the books. And then actually the Sun comes out and it feels a lot lighter and brighter. And Simi's got the 8 of Cups. So, all is not lost, I think, with the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Wands, movement, things are moving, even if it doesn't feel like it. And the 9 of Wands, the month is going to end well. So you see, if you take into consideration the card I've got for the end of the month, I think they are, a really nice selection of cards. And there we go. So I've got the King of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the naughty one that I can't show, that one. What have you got, Cosmic 3IA? Yes, we can change the polarity, Jim, with belief work. Absolutely. Absolutely, we can. Angel Size, hello, little late, but hello from Denmark. Hello from Denmark. Good to see you here. Cosmic 3i Atlas, you've got Pull the Daisy, Harmonization, Beauty, Happiness, Light, Simplicity, Naivety, and Spontaneity. Oh, don't worry about the spelling. I don't know. Pisces, Aquarius, Rising Moon, Gemini. Okay, Angel Size. Okay. So, Margaret, what's ridiculous? I don't know what's ridiculous. Christine, it's time to create. Look for new alternatives. I think that's a very good idea, Christine. I think we do have to create. I think we mustn't lose sight of love, which was the card that I pulled. Let's not lose sight of love. And also remember, let's not lose sight of being good to us, showing ourselves love, doing things that empower us, not giving our power away. I think the season of Scorpio is an interesting season to bear this in mind, because, Pluto does rule Scorpio along with Mars. Pluto is about transformation, about empowering the other. Scorpio is a sign about the other, about shared resources. It's also about your shadow. This is about finding your inner power. So whilst the sun is in Scorpio, don't hide your light under a bushel. Shine, shine brightly. Feel your power. Don't give it away to others. And yes, it's time to be the artists we can be, Jim. Absolutely. Clarity coming into focus, says See Me. Setting boundaries and moving forwards with momentum. Absolutely. That has to be the way to go. Oh, See Me, you're saying you think the cards you pulled were meant for me. Well, perhaps they're meant for you as well as everybody else. And if the cards I pulled were meant for me, I think it means that I will probably get my first contract signed this month. That's the contract for the sale of the property. So that would be good, because I was thinking, oh dear, if we don't get it done by Mercury retrograde. And then I think, no, I've got to follow my own advice. Any delays are timely. Have faith in them and trust them. Hi, Vishka. Good to see you. Yes, Vishka, absolutely. I hope so too. So overlapping. Yes, yes. Empathy is the foundation of a healthy civilization. And you know, when empathy goes, and when countries ridicule their governments, we are in big SH1T. And that is happening in the UK, because we in the UK, although I'm not there yet, I'm there in spirit, are ridiculing our government. We actually think they're quite funny. We're not supposed to think they're funny. We're supposed to think they can lead. And when a nation starts laughing at its government, that government's got serious problems. AMAC, it's dark, light your navigation lights and lighthouses. Yes, absolutely. Christine, you are an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan. Well said. Thank you, See Me. Yes, never truer words, Parry? Absolutely. The art of loving and living, I would say, Parry. So, my loves, that is what November brings. So as you can see, it's quite a busy month. I will endeavour to keep you updated with the weekly Astro Witters, as well as our weekly week ahead forecast, which we'll get next Sunday. And of course, what can I say? Thank you for all being so awesome. Thank you for being here. Check out the full moon video. It's I've done all your timestamps, so all the zodiac signs are timestamped, so do check that out. Cosmic 3IA. During this period, I feel we should listen more closely to our intuition and have faith in ourselves. Always, though, always. And Amanda, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. You are welcome as well, Patrick. And of course, we've got to remember we've still got 3i Atlas hanging around behind the sun. I'm not quite sure when that's supposed to reappear, but you know, there's still all the interesting rumors flying around about it. And I just stick with Stefan Burns and what he says, because he's my go-to for that. Jim, thank you. Talk to you very soon. And See Me, love you all, Soul Fam. And Penny, you are my light every week. Listen, you are all my light every week. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, because there'd be nobody watching me or listening to me, Ritter. So listen, yes, please like, comment and share. And thank you to the person who donated to the channel. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Let me just see what Paris is saying here. Change and revitalization in our lives with love and harmony together, joyously sharing our love and support. What a perfect note to end on. Have a fabulous week, everybody, and take care, and have a happy full moon on Wednesday. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.